Hi, this is Aaron, and today we're going to compare the Fascinate from Samsung to the Droid X from Motorola. And first let's go into the external design. I haven't turned these on yet, so we can have a real speed comparison from boot up to web browsers, things like that. So let's talk a little bit about some simple specs. Here you have a 4-inch screen, 480 by 800 is the resolution, Super AMOLED. Here you have an LCD screen that is 480 by 854 and is 4.3 inches. Well, in an LCD, just normal LCD backlit, this is 4 inches. So you can see there's a slight size difference and a slight resolution boost due to that on this, or pixel count rather, due to the slight larger screen. The front of the phones, this has tactile buttons. So here you have your settings menu button, home, back, and your search button. In here you have menu, home, back, search. Here's your microphone, and you've got a rubbery feel to the whole phone on the Droid X, while this is just kind of a plasticky feel. Not bad, but just plasticky. This is made out of aluminum. This is, like I said, plastic. So let's take a look at the sides. Well, first, here's the ear piece, or where you hear out of. Here's the one on the Samsung, and you have some proximity sensors as well. So to sense when it's up close to your face, doesn't cause a problem or activate the screen, just like on most smartphones nowadays. On the side, we have our volume rocker, and right here, some people have said this is for a strap. I don't think it is. I think it may be for a microphone that's sensing pickup. I could be incorrect, but not really sure. There's not a whole lot of explanation for it. I guess it could be a strap, and we'll look at it again in a second. On the side here, on this side of the Droid X, we have an HDMI out, so that may be a big consideration for some. And also we have a USB, micro USB for charging, syncing, whatever you want to do with it. Let's flip them to the back. Here we have an 8 megapixel camera with dual flash. Here we have a 5 megapixel with flash. They both record in 720p at, I believe, 24 frames per second. And here we have our speaker, and a speaker here. This is where the battery is, and we'll slide that off quick. This is made of aluminum, has a rubbery feel to it, nice texture, and nice solid aluminum. Here's our battery with our 16 gigabyte micro SD card. And let's take the back of the Galaxy S, or the Fascinate, apart. This is plastic, so it's easily replaceable. It doesn't feel flimsy on the phone, but it's definitely just a thin piece of plastic. So you can see they both have decent sized batteries. I could tell you the specs here if you wanted to know. 3.7 volt. I don't see how many milliamp hours, but let's see. Let's pull that out. And we have 1500 or 1540 milliamp hours. To remove the micro SD card, you have to take the battery out on the Droid X. You do not on the Fascinate. You can pull this out right here. There's your 16 gig micro SD card. And again, we have a 1500 milliamp hour battery in the Fascinate. So let's go ahead and pop the backs back on. There we go. This just snaps on. Alright, so we've looked at the back. Let's look at this side. On the side, we have a camera button on the Droid X with a volume rocker up and down. On the Samsung, we have a sleep-wake button and power button. On the top of the phones, we have 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks. We have a noise-canceling microphone, and we have our sleep-wake power button. On this phone, we have our micro USB with a little slide door. It hasn't broken, hasn't felt flimsy so far, but it might. Oh, and before we turn these on, let's go ahead and look at where people say it's a strap that can go through here. I just don't. Yeah, I guess it is. Looks like you can put a strap in there. So right in here, the strap goes through. There isn't a strap in the box unless there was supposed to be, but I didn't see one. So let's go ahead and turn these on. They both have gigahertz processors from different manufacturers. and similar specs. I'm not going to go into more detail than that as far as specs go. They both have Android 2.1 on them. Both should have a Froyo update soon. And you can see this has got a slippery, or a non-stick feel. There it says Droid. Now, these are on default settings as far as screen brightness goes. You see this one's booting, but it's more dim, even though the screen does go bright. This is rubbery, so it doesn't slip around as easy. This is plastic and will slip easily. So you can see the Samsung wins as far as speed of boot up. There we go. Real close. And they're both preparing SD cards. So here's the unlock screen. Slide to unlock, slide to silence. There we go. And you could, I don't know if you could hear that, but that was the haptic feedback. Here we fit a puzzle piece. And on this notification screen, you've got your time. You have in big print with the date. You also have your notifications. It says there was one call, and you can see that call by sliding down. Why people are calling this, I'm not sure. It's not my phone. It's a test phone, or a review phone. So we'll unlock it. So we have both unlocked, and we have our notification bar, stock Android. Nothing up there. Samsung's gone a bit further on this phone. It says here's my email, here's voicemail, calls, and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and airplane mode right in the drop-down drawer. Personally, great touch in my opinion. The phones over time, after I've been using them a while, I think the Samsung feels more responsive and quick. It's not that the Droid X doesn't work, it just feels to me, now this could be just me, but to me it feels faster. So you can see here's the different things across the bottom. Stock background, that they've got the pond thing going on, temperature or time with your weather, temperature, whatever, date. So let's go into the app drawer with our stock apps and some added princess ones and stuff. No, they're not for me, they're for my daughters. So let's go into the applications on the Samsung. A little bit different here. The applications are normal on the Droid, they scroll up and down. On the Samsung, they go side to side. And you've got a little gear up here for your settings. You can move them around and delete them, or what you would like to do, or however you would like to do it. And I kind of like, now this may be my liking of, dare I say, the iPhone, but the apps look more like an iPhone app, if you can see here. Instead of just doing the stock treatment on a black background, it looks more polished on the Samsung. It really does. It makes me want to use the Samsung phone quite a bit over my iPhone. But I do like it a lot. And, you know, it's not that this is bad on the Droid, but it's just stock and not as polished, that's all. So let's go back to the home screen. And let me show you some of the stock things. So here's the stock Samsung interface. You've got your phone, contacts, messaging, applications. When we scroll to the side, we've got buddies now. Why this doesn't have a picture, I'm not sure. I haven't set that up. But what you can do is you can add a favorite. So that plus button here, we can add a contact. And what happens is it shows up, that's my brother, both of my brothers there. And I can hit message, it'll go right to text. I can hit call, it'll go right to call. I can edit it however I want. And that's a stock widget from them. Let's scroll to the right one more. Whoop. I don't want you to see the contact there. Scroll to the right one more. And we've got a blank spot for your widgets. But say I don't want that there. If I tap this, tap and hold, oops, go back. Actually, go back here. Now I've got this gear on the top. Oh, I missed it. Let's hit this gear. And I can set that as home, or I can just delete it. I can delete any of these or add any of these. So now I've got blank ones. I don't want the blank ones. I just want this many home screens. Now I'm back, and I'm fully customized and only have one to the right, two to the left. That's it. So now we have a daily briefing widget from Samsung. Some really neat things just in the interface. Very customizable. On the Droid X, it's less polished, and it's stock Android. You can put your backgrounds and all that. This is one of their nice apps. Similar to the Samsung app where you have your buddies now. Same idea. You can add a contact and put that contact here. Different layout. Doesn't have the motion of this, but it's nice. And not a big deal, really. Here you have your media player that you can use as a widget. You've got some news and tips. These are all stock. And you have some, calendar apps. And here's your settings, Wi-Fi on, off. And why that's off, I don't know. We'll turn it on. So as far as the interface goes, if I had to pick, I picked the Samsung just because it's nicer and more polished. The Wi-Fi is on now and connected, so we can do a little bit more testing here. So let's go ahead and open the browsers. And we'll hit that. And we're going to go to my website. Now, one thing that this has that this doesn't have is swipe. And I'll show you that in a moment if you haven't seen that, but swipe is very cool. So here's Zollotech, both on the exact same Wi-Fi signal. The Samsung shows 1 bar of Wi-Fi, the Droid X shows 2. I'm in a basement, but they're next to each other off the same signal. Let's give this a shot here. There we go. They're both loading. Let's see what finishes first. Samsung is done. The Samsung is very, very fast. You can see it's done already. Here's Zollotech. The Droid X is still loading. Now, people criticized me in one of my videos comparing this. This is the results I've had with the Droid X on my home Wi-Fi. I don't see a problem. Every phone I've used has different results, but you're seeing side by side. Some people think it's Wi-Fi signal next to it. It really doesn't make a difference. And I can handle plenty of connections off my router, so it's kind of strange, I think. It's scrollable. It's just not a little bit choppy while it's scrolling. Zoom. It's not that I hate the Droid. I'm not hating on it. That's just the results I'm getting. Depending on the router, I get different results. I've gone from Linksys to D-Link, you name it. I just get different results with the Droid X and its Wi-Fi signal. Hopefully there'll be a fix, but I don't know. So here's pinch to zoom. See how fast that is? It looks like it might lag a little bit, but there's a little bit of chop. I don't know if you can see it, but when I'm zooming in, it's almost like chug, chug, chug. You know what I mean? Check that out. See, it's good now after you do it a couple times. Over here, it just feels faster. I don't know. See? Or more responsive or something. I just wanted to show you that. And to do it one more time, I guess we can load Verizon, since they sent me this phone. And let me show you swipe while we're doing that. So there's Verizon.com. Now over here, this is swipe. I'm going to go to Verizon. And instead of lifting my finger for each tap, I'm going to scroll with my finger. It knows Verizon. And it's just really cool that works. And you can do it really fast, but I kind of want to do it slower to show you. So both say Verizon. I'm going to hit go. And we got an email on Droid. Verizon's already loaded on the Samsung. Crazy, I know. Same web page, not cached. Never been to Verizon on the Samsung before. It's just slow off my Wi-Fi and even has a stronger signal. See, there's the signal strength up in the top there. Signal strength of the Samsung is right there. Now it's 2, but it was 1 when it's sitting down here. Crazy, I know, but there's something that the Wi-Fi it doesn't like on Wi-Fi. That doesn't mean it's going to be that slow on yours, but just wanted to show you. So the Samsung has swipe. It has all these other things. I personally really like the Samsung, if you can't tell by now. One last thing is battery life. Battery life on the Droid X is about a day. Battery life on the Samsung amazes me. It's more than a day. In fact, I'd say it beats the iPhone 4, which is pretty impressive battery life. The battery, gosh, I don't even know. I haven't done a straight test of it, but the battery just does not seem to want to die on this thing. I mean, it's really quite good. And one last thing, if you haven't seen the other one, is the music app. I can't really play it, but I can show it to you, just because I don't own the music. The stock music app does something really nice in here. Music, artists. Let's turn this all the way down. And got some funny albums on here, but let's So we're back. I had to pause the music. So here's the music. That's the album art, Lamberlin. Shown this before. Drag this down, and it's not there. That's interesting. Okay. That's weird. Well, why that's happening, I'm not really sure. But normally, there is a music app up in the top, and maybe it's because of that. I don't know. But normally there's a music app in here that works quite nice, and it's showing up. Why it's not there now, I don't know. So maybe that's a bug. I know there's people have had some bugs. Weird thing on here, a couple bad things. Bing shows up. And the other thing on this phone is the screen is just gorgeous. I don't hate the Droid. People think I'm a Droid X hater. I don't hate the Droid. It is big. It's good for watching movies and outputting movies. But the Samsung, to me, just feels leaps ahead. But definitely, check these out yourself. I know of someone recently that asked me about them. They chose the Droid X. Go to your local Verizon store. Hopefully you have one. Go local. Pick them up in the mall. Try them out. Ask if you can see live working models. They'll get you some, usually. In my case, they'll hand them over. Check them out. I own an iPhone, personally, so I'm not telling this to be an advertisement for Verizon. I'm saying this because go try them out for yourself. You may like the Droid X more than me. You may like the Samsung, for your choice. You may not like either. You may want the Droid 2. Check them out yourself. And if you have any other questions and you want comparisons of things, please feel free to ask. I know this has been a long video, and thanks for bearing with me and sticking with me here. But I really wanted to kind of give you a thorough overview of both phones. So check them out. Please subscribe, comment, let me know what else you might want to see before I do my full review on the Samsung, which will be shortly here. And hopefully I covered everything you wanted to know about both of them. But really, the Fascinate feels in another league to me. And when 2.2 comes out for them, Froyo, and you have flash integration, all these other things, it may be something different. But for now, I pick this. You may pick this. Neither is bad. They're both great phones. I just think there's a little more polish with the Samsung interface. This is Aaron. We'll see you next time.